Start with public comments, start with the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please limit your comments to 5 minutes or less.
Joey, how are you?
Morning, fellas. Good morning. I'm John Winklefleck, a fourth generation Tama County crop and livestock farmer from rural Dicey. I am speaking on behalf of the Tama County Against Turbines Coalition. As the year draws to a close, our coalition remains strong and committed to educating and informing you and the public on facts. We have shared specific suggestions and facts with you on how and why it is necessary for Tama County to update its minimal, outdated commercial wind energy conversion system ordinance. More than 1,029 Tama County adults agree, as they have signed our TCAT petition calling for comprehensive changes to the commercial wind energy ordinance to better protect public health, public safety, livestock, wildlife, and prime Tama County farmland. Last week, we shared facts about the role of the citizens appointed to serve on the zoning board. We trust that you will support the important work of the citizens serving on the zoning board. They are dedicated to doing what is right to meet the needs of the taxpayers of Tama County. They are working hard to research and propose a comprehensive new Tama County commercial wind ordinance and separate new commercial solar ordinance. Each is essential to protect our precious farmland and quality of life for current and future generations of Tama County residents. We trust that you will not stand in the way of adopting the many needed changes in the commercial wind ordinance and to develop a commercial solar ordinance to better protect the people who actually live and pay taxes here. So what do you say? As we embark on a new year with a new member of the Board of Supervisors, Kurt Hilmer joining you, Bill and Dan in 2023. Are you willing to work in good faith? We are, if you are. As we start the new year with a new Board of Supervisors, are you willing to listen to the taxpayers of Tama County and openly discuss, consider, and adopt the necessary changes to the Tama County commercial wind energy ordinance? Are you willing to listen to the people who live and pay far more taxes here and contribute more to the success of Tama County than any outside developers? Are you willing to listen to the taxpayers of Tama County and openly discuss, consider, and adopt the necessary? Are you willing to support the citizens who serve on the zoning board and to encourage the research and development of a new commercial wind energy and commercial solar ordinance? In this season of giving, we hope you will give those questions serious consideration. It's time to show good faith and to listen to and engage with the taxpayers of Tama County that our coalition represents. As we've communicated each week for 35 weeks, over the past 8 months, we remain committed to partnering with the county to see to it that Tama County's weak ordinances are updated to better protect the people who live here. That kind of leadership is needed to protect the lives and livelihoods of current and future generations of Tama County residents. coalition has provided you with the facts each week for 8 months. Because we care about Tama County, and we represent thousands of people who care about Tama County as well. We speak for those who cannot, or whom don't want to face the bullying we've endured from those who don't have the best interest of our county, our land, and our livestock and wildlife in mind. So let's get serious and address what needs to change in Tama County's commercial wind energy ordinance, and not ignore it. Taking no action and making no effort to improve Tama County's minimal, outdated wind ordinance is not the answer. Nor is ignoring the fact that we need a comprehensive Tama County commercial solar ordinance. The fact is, the outdated commercial wind energy ordinance can and must change. The county can change it at any time. Let me repeat. The county can change it at any time. And the county can create a commercial solar ordinance at any time. Now's the time. Let's make those priorities for 2023. So as the Zoning Commission continues its fact-finding mission, we encourage you to openly review their future recommendation and to recognize it represents the voice of the people who live and pay taxes here, and who have for generations. Let's work together to consider the facts. Let's demonstrate the courage to stand up to bullies and those who only seek their own financial gain. Let's listen to those who live here, not the ones who don't. Let's remember our roots in Tama County are firmly rooted in agriculture. It's the #1 provider of jobs and incomes in our county, and will continue to be if we respect and protect the precious land here that's some of the most productive anywhere in the world. Let's not let anything or anyone threaten the quality of life and public safety of everyone else who lives here, works and raises their family here. In the season of giving and of serving others, we look forward to working with county officials to make Tama County's ordinances better to serve the needs of the people who live and work here in the new year. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Anyone else have any comments or statements?
Jim Smith? Wow, you have no comment?
I read something that was interesting a couple days ago. Now that you ask, but it said these wind turbines are putting up, they keep getting bigger and bigger. And of course, they monitor the efficiency of them. But the fields in Minnesota, they all produce less than 50% capacity of energy that they're capable of producing. And in Iowa, there was only one wind field, and it didn't say which one it was, that it produced 52%. It was over 50% capacity to produce, 52%. But I think that just kind of reflects what the efficiency of these is. I know, what was it, yesterday morning or something? I was looking that way, and those turbines couldn't have been moving yesterday, whenever I looked, because I could see the cloud of steam or whatever it is above the power plant in Marshalltown, and it was just, rising straight up. It wasn't going this way or that way, but I just thought that was interesting.
That's it, Jim?
Well, I could
Right
come
now,
up
he'll
with-
be back.
I could come up with more.
I'm sure he will. Anyone else else have
Anybody
anything?
else got anything to say? Otherwise, I can, fill in more.
Karen, you got anything you wanna add to that?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
It's hard to follow an eagle.
It is.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, but I walk slow.
So, I cannot count the number of people that tell me they don't like listening to news because it's negative. However, most of the people in this room grew up with negative news on TV, on radio, just about around the clock. Went to bed for a few hours because we're farmers, and that was called the Cuban Missile Crisis and the takeover of America in the 60s. Well, so we've all grown up listening to quote negative news and not canceling it out. And there was no closure on any of that, and here it is back. And Chuck Grassley has been pleading with people on the radio, on the news, to stop giving China America's farmland. This is a little tiny bit outdated. It was in August, where he introduced along with Democrat Tammy Baldwin, Farmland Security Act to increase scrutiny over foreign investments in American agricultural land to address the impact of foreign investments on family farms, rural communities, and the domestic food supplies, which is what we have all been talking about now for 8 months. We've learned a lot in the last 8 months. It isn't just you three gentlemen that have learned a lot. We've been researching and investigating. And I think Mr. Grassley has also sounding the alarm on the increase in foreign-owned farmland. For decades, Agriculture Foreign Investment Disclosure Act will come into play. Foreign buyers, governments like China, buying up prime farmland here in the United States raises serious national security concerns. He hopes to require the USDA to report these purchases in real time and these acquisitions, showing that agriculture acreage has nearly doubled in the past decade. However, that data has been collected, might be incomplete and inaccurate, and it could be estimated as much as double the current figures of foreign invested land, and specifically China. Of course, they don't come in here and just say, we're the Chinese. We might have killed most of your good reporters and leaders in the last 60 to 70 years. Here we are, now we want your farmland. They do it under the face of the things that are going on right now. And a lot of people who signed these 4 years ago, you guys have kind of disclosed a little bit that it was 17 and 18. That's come out in this month, December. So they've been at it for a while. And they're getting more bold, more aggressive. And you really don't you have to really cancel out everything to not know what's going on now, because so many news sources are reporting. It's really frightening. I honestly don't think we can stop China. I don't think we've ever been able to stop China. However, you three gentlemen can still do the right thing. Maybe Larry, Larry, you're not gonna go home. You're gonna be back on subcommittee or something. I know we're gonna see you again, but you can have that anyway. So anyway.
So you want me to stop trying?
Yes, I do, Larry, because we all have to do it as a united effort, all of us do. So thank you for listening to us all these months, but this is a big, scary thing, and we're all trying to do the right thing. We want you gentlemen to do the right thing with us, please.
Thanks, Karen. Anybody else have anything?
Yeah, I could add a little bit more. So Grassley's from Benton, right? Benton County?
No,
Where do you live at?
north.
New Hartford.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, okay. I thought he might have been from Benton County. Or, yeah. Or might have been, okay.
He's up north.
They have strong ordinances in Benton.
I can't remember what
Oh,
county that is.
and then another thing I learned last week, there's an app on the cell phone so you can get it. Like say this came around to the deer hunting season. These guys, they can look at this app and it's like a plat book on your cell phone. And I'm wondering what the reflection will be in the paper plat book you get. But if say you want to find out who owns this property, like Larry's farm, and you pull up this app And it says the property owner's name on the cell phone. But if you have signed an easement with Salt Creek 1 or 2, it says the property is Salt Creek 1 or 2. It doesn't have Larry Vest's name on it. They take out Larry's and put Salt Creek 1 and 2. I think that's right,
So
isn't
if I'm
it?
gonna go hunt coyotes on your property, I'm gonna have to call Bob Bergstrom and ask
Yeah.
permission.
Yeah,
And that's kinda strange because
I thought it was more the apex
nobody's, even if
footprint.
they got a tower, has given up ownership of any land. They've allowed it.
Well, but they've got the easement for trespassing on like the whole 40 acres or the,
Yeah.
am I right? Do you have that app?
We do
Okay.
I
Okay.
can download
But
it.
the owner hasn't changed.
Huh?
Ownership hasn't changed.
But that's not how it's
Right.
reported.
I don't know if it's Salt Creek. It's
Well,
I think it's the apex one.
APEC, okay, APEC.
Whoever signed an easement on, and I don't know if this is a question for the assessor or the recorder, but the app says, the owner's name, and then it says Apex or whatever. And I don't know why that is.
Yeah,
That's
county
my son.
records don't show that, they just show the ownership.
Yeah.
They
this
don't
is a-
show that
This is
when
the
you
app
put it
that all the
in.
hunters use.
So it must be something on that specific to that app maybe.
That's interesting, cause
If
that
you
might be
go in
going
my
at the
office
state
and
level.
look at the maps, it's gonna have
Mhm.
Larry Vest on it.
Okay. Yeah,
Should
So
see
that should say me and the banker.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, but it says the owner and
Yeah, so that app maybe shows the
and
wind
the
company.
wind company or whatever.
Yeah,
that-
that's separate
Okay.
in the
I
county.
mean, this is what
Okay.
my son
Yep.
tells me.
yeah.
Well,
Question,
that means that,
It may be,
that the company has total control over that. You have to ask the farmer and the wind company both in order to hunt. But they got the control over the whole farm once you sign it. They have the control, they know
it's not just 1,000 acres away from that wind turbine, it's the whole or the whole 40 acres or
The
whatever.
easement covers the whole parcel,
Yeah,
that is correct. So if they don't want you to hunt on it, they can tell you not to hunt.
it. Yep.
yeah.
They
To
know
elaborate a little bit on what these, people are saying, a lot of the people that sign these industrial farm contracts believe that they will be able to tell these companies where, how many, and when they're gonna put them up. Well, already the when is not true, and that was even before we became involved, only this year in 2022, as we've been told many times, you know, we finally got involved and were intrusive. But before that, people had signed it and nothing got built. So, it's amazing that people actually believe that they're gonna tell these companies where they're gonna be. And I've been told that by the people that have signed the contracts, they will be telling these companies where those turbines are gonna be. It's just interesting how misinformed most of the contract signers are. But they're basing everything off of what happened over in Gilman, in the Gilman area, which is a totally different thing than the new updated, contracts and industrial push. Very, very different.
Every company's got their own contract,
And they're bigger.
yeah.
have you had any, movement or updates on, getting the room wired for sound or video?
No, we haven't looked at it yet. I mean, IT people are looking into it. I
Wanna,
think we discussed that a couple, 3 weeks ago.
just wanted to see if there was any movement since then.
Yeah, I've heard anymore. But I know they're looking into it.
Well, if Kurt's a real loud speaker, you probably won't need it, right? You'll just boom right out towards us, because we'll still be here.
That would be good.
I know you'd miss us, Dan.
Anybody else have anything? Last chance, Jim.
I'm about all marked.
Well, last week, Bob Mulcoon, had some things to say, and that's good. Bob usually does, and if he wouldn't, we'd be wondering why, but, because we research, read, listen to news, go out and talk to people, and, have been doing this now for most of our lifetime, because that's the way we were raised. That means that we are not stupid or mentally ill, because we still can read words that are longer than 4 or 5 letters, and not on a little screen, and not text it. So, yeah, we can still read, and so, mind is a precious thing, and we value that, and no, we're not stupid, we're not mentally ill,
You know,
and we're trying so hard to
now that you
learn.
brought that up, I'm gonna tell you again, I never said you was, I give you 2 options. I said you're either extremely optimistic or mentally ill. I never said you were mentally ill. I never once said that, you know it.
I didn't say you, I said Bob.
Well, that's where it came from.
He wasn't copying you, that was his own thought.
Oh, okay.
Well, we're not real optimistic about what's going on when we are being taken over by another country, Larry. I'm sorry, but that's why we're here. Because it's a real scary thing. Even Chuck Grassley says food in here, and we've been saying that for the whole year.
I guess I've heard the wind power people come up here and say they wanna be good neighbors to live within Tama County. Now, if you were a good neighbor, why do we even need an ordinance that says you must stay 1,000 or 1,500 feet from somebody's house? If the wind tower was a good neighbor, they would put that wind tower as far from anybody's house as possible, not as close as they could. So we really shouldn't even need an ordinance if the wind tower were honest and actually did what they say they are, and that's be a good neighbor.
There's a lot of laws that way, isn't there? If you're just good neighbor.
But they promote it, that they are gonna be a good neighbor, so why not follow through? Just don't put them next to somebody's house. It's real simple. They got the power. It's signed. They got the power. Everything is in their hands to do anything they want. So just be a good neighbor instead of being somebody that you're gonna hate the rest of your life because they put it right next to your house. That's all I'm saying. I wish the wind tower people were here, because they should do that on their own.
Well, you should go talk to them.
Well,
They're not that far away.
Over there in the old FSA building. That'd be a good question to ask them.
Actually, it revolves around you 3. We don't take issue with the wind power companies. It's you guys have the authority to lay down the rules they need to follow. That's why we're here. It's got nothing to do with Salt Creek, it's got nothing to do with Apex.
Well,
That's just like I wouldn't take up anything with a speeder. Somebody going 75 down 63. My issue would be with the county. What's your speed limit?
And how are you enforcing?
And how are you enforcing that? That's the job of you guys here, is to lay down the rules that everybody plays by. That's what you were elected for.
I guess an analogy would be fox in a hen house. You wouldn't have the fox set the rules in the hen house. You would have the farmer, an outside thing, setting the rules so that the fox cannot take over or hurt any of the occupants of a hen house. I mean, it's kind of like that. You don't have the person who can benefit the most from any of the rules that they're making make the rules, because then the opposition has no way to have a voice in that.
Actually, when we first came in here at the beginning of the year, we came in with the optimism that you 3 would protect Tama County. And that was our biggest surprise, was to find out that you're not willing. I remember saying that the city council protects the city, whichever city it is, and the county supervisors protect the county, which is you 3. And to this day, there have not been full-page newspaper articles about what's going on over around Chelsea and Vining and Elbron, maybe south of Tama, to alert people so that 3 years from now, they're not sitting in here saying, you guys never even told us. I mean, sure, they're knocking on some doors and ringing some phones, but what about all the people that haven't been approached or called yet? It takes them a while to get all the land they want, so everybody's so misinformed. People in that area think that we're making all this up unless they've already been called, and they tell us that, well, we aren't affected. Well, how do you know you're not affected? So when we came here, we thought months ago that you guys, our biggest surprise was that we found out you wouldn't protect Tama County by doing what these two people just said. It's really sad.
Anyone else have anything? Got a couple more minutes.
So there's no way to put it up for a vote for the residents of Tama County, whether we wanna expand in the wind turbine business or not? Common vote, popular vote.
I think it's a state
Majority vote.
stipulation that we're not able to do that type of vote in this state. It's part of our legislation, I think. It's kinda like how we don't have recalls in the state.
Okay.
During the public hearing on the amendment change, will we be able to ask questions about more specifics? I know there's an explanation at the bottom, but
What was that again?
Public hearing,
the public hearing part, will we be able to ask questions and get answers, or is that just,
that's what the public hearing's all about.
well, I didn't know if that was a back and forth or if you were just listening to people's input for the public hearing part.
We'll address that at the time.
Okay.
If you have a comment, for sure, welcome to make it. Anybody else have anything? Well, thank you for your comments. Start the meeting here in a couple minutes.
What about it, Mr. Chairman? HR policy is gonna be presented by ES policy is gonna be presented by HR, are you still on it, or?
No, we'll table that.
Okay.
She did give it to me to give to you.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
'cause she gave it to you last week to review.
I know we had it.
But if
Okay.
you still wanna wait till she's here next week, that's fine. That's up to you guys.
Maybe we're gonna have to, or did she
If
say?
you- Yeah, she's okay with that, unless you wanna discuss more. She gave it to you last week to look over.
Right.
Yeah, if she's okay with it, let's go ahead.
Yeah, we can go ahead. You said Lyle won't be here?
Lyle won't be here.
See you, Karen.
I'm gonna go around.
Oh, it's 9:30, let's call the meeting to order.